the jibber jabber. Don't be babbling like a fool. Say what you got to say. That's all. Then shut your dang pie hole.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. We're blasting out of the bunker here on Friday. Good golly, what a world. What a week. I hope you are fine. I hope you are well. I hope you are at ease as much as a person can be at ease these days. And I hope that you are fully prepared with food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, and a plan with your means of self-defense. Oh man, okay. So cinema, the movies, is a great way to examine ideas and concepts that are otherwise hard to explain by demonstrating the ideas artistically and giving the mind time to look at it. So a great example of that, folks, was Back to the Future 2, in which the protagonist and his crazy scientific doctor friend make a discovery that they have a problem with the space-time continuum. That's right, Marty McFly and Dr. M. Emmett Brown discover a problem when they go to they go to realize that Biff, the bad guy from the first movie, has used a time machine to enrich himself. Okay, so they've got parallel universes, and they realize they need to go back in time and straighten this problem out. Well, if you've watched that movie or any movie that deals with the problems or potentials of time travel, you'd understand that, you know, all of a sudden realities change big time. Just last year, Biden stood at the podium as President of the United States and essentially said, send tanks to Ukraine? Well, that would be World War III. As if to say, we ain't doing that. Are you crazy? We're not going to send fucking tanks over there. Enter Biff with his flux capacitor. And this year, same time of year, we've got Biden standing at the podium as Presidente of the United States saying, we're sending tanks to Ukraine. And they don't give a shit about World War III, folks. They couldn't care less about the potentials, the possibilities, and the problems of doing such a thing. I don't know if they expect us to just forget everything. You see, they're going to have big problems. They're going to have big problems with you and I. When the gloves finally come off, and they will come off, there's going to be hell to pay. We're not going to buy this gaslighting. You see, they gaslight us or lie to us. The media does, and the President, House, all the Democrats, all the rhinos, they lie to us as if we're not going to figure it out. Like we're children being fooled with the sleight of hand trick over Cheerios and a cup on the table. So we're not going to remember, we're not going to forget, right? Things are going to get crazy. Well, I think that things are going to get crazy, folks. And it's not because of you and I, it's because of these people, these fucking time continuum fools who think that they can change the way history works and what it looks like and how it smells and everything else. Just by changing their mere words, they're going to change the dynamics of how the world works. You know, the universe is pretty consistent. It is only the inconsistencies of Democrats that demonstrate this. Now, I've got a little bit of news for you I think you're going to find interesting. And if you want coffee, you got to read or drink out of the correct side of the cup. All right. There we go. Zero Dark 30, you need some help. I'm telling you. Just a little bit of coffee is good. Here it is, folks. People like to say Americans aren't doing jack shit. They're not doing jack shit. And why the fuck am I behind a moped doing 10 miles an hour? People say we're passive, we're cowards, we're weak. 1776, Americans had big old balls. 1776, Americans stood up and kicked some ass. They didn't put up with no shit in 1776. Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. Now, I'm going to give you a little bit of history because I want you to understand that the space-time continuum is going to snap back to a reality that makes sense, where the laws of the universe are rewound, reset, and once again, goodness, God's law, nature's law is restored. Are you ready for this? Just a big fat example. Americans, they won't stand up. They're cowards. Well, we're doomed. Fucking listen to me. In 1776, Americans finally had enough, and they put it down on a piece of paper, and they sent it to the King of England, and they told him to go stuff it up his ass. Okay? Now here's the truth. 56 years before that, there was a man working for a newspaper, and he had had enough. 56 years, right? 50 years, folks, 50 years. That man's name was Benjamin Franklin. If I've got my history correct, if I remember correctly, if I'm not, someone please correct me. But in the 1720s, Benjamin Franklin, that guy on the $100 bill, the C-note dude, was writing in his newspaper and complaining about free speech being violated. That we have rights, damn it, and they need to be allowed. 50 fucking years. American colonists thought about it, talked about it, wrote about it, complained about it, did nothing about it. Okay, now before I've talked about how, hey, 1770s, 1760s, even back into the 1750s, things were shitty. Well, see, there's an order to things. There's progress. Sometimes progress is negative, and it takes a long time, not only to interfere with people, to gradually overrun them with tyranny, but it takes a long time for them to get pissed off until they finally said, you know what, we've fucking had enough of this. You know, it takes a while. So for all the naysayers out there who say, we'll never do nothing, there's going to be hell to pay for this. Oh, there's going to be hell to pay everywhere. For the Jim Jones juice, let me tell you right now, folks, the homosexuals, that community, the LGBT crowd, there's going to be hell to pay for the decisions they make. There's going to be hell to pay for putting all those chemicals in the food that have turned such a huge percentage of the population into a bunch of limp-wristed, right, slinky-playing fools. It just is. It is not natural. It is very unnatural. You know, not to say that, you know, everyone just needs to be shot on sight. I'm just saying it's coming. Just saying. And when it happens, Benjamin Franklin, 50 years, he knew what tyranny was. George Washington, he put up with the same shit for decade after decade after decade after decade. James Madison, he was a young guy, right? He was fortunate enough to be young and start putting his philosophy to paper and arguing with it. Thomas Jefferson, though, same story. Been around a long time, very wealthy. John Hancock, wealthiest man in colonial America. First one to sign the Declaration of Independence. He was happy as fuck. He was the Mike Lindell of his time. Right? Loud as fuck. And it was on, folks. They finally had enough and said, that is it. It is worth dying over. These are our rights. Fuck you. Philosophy took hold. here we are, right now. When things go back, we've been putting up with this shit my whole life, right? I'm 53. It's quite a few years. I've known my whole life that the government's been out of fucking control. The tyranny's getting that bad. People are going to wake up. They are going to take action. It is going to happen. Whether it is a revolt on the street or some kind of political fucking movement that gains traction and isn't thrown in prison for it, it's going to happen. People are going to remember their rights, and they're going to be very, very pissed about it. There's going to be hell to pay for those who violated the laws and the rules. They're going to take the chemicals out, right? The feminizing chemicals in food, and America's going to be restored. That's the plan I'm going with, folks. We're going to turn this ship around, if you will. And I'm being very optimistic on a Friday morning, 0 dark 30. But it ain't going to be easy, and it won't be quick. And it's going to take a lot of time. And a lot of heads are going to roll, to use that expression. And eventually, the space-time continuum will be returned to normal. Anyways, folks, I really hope you enjoyed the show, enjoyed the thoughts, enjoyed the references, and I hope that you are prepared, because it's showtime. We're getting much closer. Keep the faith, Semper Fi, Godspeed.